Hi, this is Kathleen. I'm preparing for a storm here in Kentucky. It's supposed to start about 9 o'clock in the morning and go through Monday. It's supposed to start with snow and then turn into sleet and ice. I'm more concerned about the ice than the snow. Every time we lose power when we have a big ice storm, it seems, at least for a day or two sometimes. The longest I can remember being out of power is about 5 days, I think, 5 or 6 days. And so slowly over the years, I've done some things. I have one large ice chest that me and my kids used to use to go camping and for long trips. And I went and bought another one after right after the power went out one time because I was tired of throwing out my refrigerator items, especially the condiments. They are so expensive. So I bought ice in this other ice chest, and everything fit into both of those for that one time. And then I lost power again between that time, and I decided it's such a hassle to put all that stuff out of your fridge and freezers and then pack it back all in. So I bought I think it was last year, I bought one of those power stations, portable power stations. It's extremely heavy, and I kind of wish while I had the money, I had some of my retirement money I used to buy it. I wish I had bought another add-on battery pack to make it extend longer, because this past fall or the late summer, we had another power outage for over a day, and the one I have only lasted about 18 hours. So after it got down to about 6 hours left on the power source, I started to turn it off for 3 hours at a time to save the battery life. And then I would plug it in for a couple hours, or turn it back on for a couple hours, turn it off, and then finally actual power came back on. So it lasted over 24 hours doing that. I was lucky that the power came back on soon after that. Power was depleted on my little power station. I did also buy a little cart from Amazon because the power pack was so heavy. There's no way I could carry it from the back room where it is right now into the kitchen where it needs to be next to my fridge. The reason I bought it was mainly for the food. I didn't want to lose all that food. So I'm prepared in that way. I also am prepared for if my pipes freeze, if we lose power and the pipes freeze. I've had 2 incidences in the last 2 years where I've had water leaks that destroyed 2 rooms and a hallway. The first one was about 3 months before I retired. I had a pinhole leak in my pipes, and I had copper pipes in my house, the old ones from the 80s when this house was built. And there was a pinprick hole in it behind the sink, destroyed the vanity and all the flooring underneath, destroyed about half the floor in my bedroom. So it made me really nervous, thinking I have all these old pipes that I spent. This is why I don't have any savings anymore, because all these things happened, and I decided to upgrade the pipes in that room. Even behind where my shower was, I put in the I can't think, is it PVC piping back there? Took out the old pipes. Hopefully so I wouldn't have to worry about that happening as long as I'm alive, because I'm 62 now. Hopefully I won't have any more water issues. All the pipe in the house isn't fixed, though. That is fixed for that. I think I even fixed this other, because when they pulled out the tub enclosure to check the floor underneath that, the other pipes to this shower in the hall bathroom are in that same wall. So they replaced those too, and that was out of my own pocket. Insurance wasn't going to pay for those extra things that I did. I had that incident, and then about a year later, maybe a little over a year later, they both happened in October for some reason. I don't know why. But the second one was my hot water heater exploded, destroyed my kitchen, destroyed the floor and part of the wall in the living room that is right on the other side of the hot water heater, and the floor in the hallway. So when the plumbers were here the first time, they told me about the smart water meter thing that watches for water leaks and gives you the option to shut off your water if you want with your smartphone. And I just I don't want to spend the money. And then this other thing happened a year later, and I decided to spend the money to get that, just for peace of mind. Not only can I shut my water off immediately with my phone without having to call the water department, because trying to get a hold of the water department in a small town in the middle of the night, which happened the first time I had a water leak, I didn't know you could leave a message until later. And so I also had trouble with turning the water off at the street. I did not have one of those tools to turn it off. I later bought one, so when the second leak happened, I went out with my little tool and I wasn't strong enough to turn and close the valve. So now I have peace of mind. I don't have another person in the house who can do that for me, so I did get a hold of my neighbor, and he helped me turn it off. Luckily, he's a night owl, and he was able to turn the water off for me. He was awake, so I didn't feel too bad. I didn't wake him up in the middle of the night. But now I can turn it off myself, and I don't have to worry. If there's a water leak, it alerts me. It also tells me if somebody in the house is taking too long of a shower. So I got an alert after my son got here telling me, you have unusual water usage in your house. It's going on for 31 minutes. My son took a 31-minute shower, and it gave me the option to turn the water off. I didn't. But I did knock on the door and say, why are you taking such a long shower for? You don't need to do that. Yeah. So my daughter does that to me too. When she has come and stayed the night, she takes those long showers, and I get an alert on my phone. So I get to complain. I also went out in the last few years and I bought a Coleman stove, and I did that because when you lose your power, you can eat sandwiches and you can't warm anything up unless you have a grill and you want to pull your grill out. I do have a grill that I hardly ever use. And yeah, I don't want to pull a grill out. But I have a little bistro table out there on my patio, and I can just put my Coleman stove on there and cook. I can make coffee, heat up some water, have a kettle, an old-fashioned kettle you put on the stove, so I can boil water. So when this kettle dies, I can actually just pull out that one kettle and use it on the stove. And I can boil water for instant coffee, tea, whatever, and it helps keep you warm in a freezing cold house too. Let's see what else. Oh, so I have a manual can opener, but it doesn't work great. So it doesn't always open the can completely. So I started getting the pop lids. They're the best invention. So easy pop lids. You don't have to struggle with a manual can opener. I don't even know, some people don't even have those anymore because they're used to the electric ones. So I also years ago bought those little tap lights. Make sure I have batteries to keep them powered if I need them. I usually spend my time reading books when the power goes out because there's nothing else to do. So having some light is really nice. When it starts getting really dark, they don't always work all that great. I do have several flashlights. I have emergency candles so the only thing I don't do is save or stock water, and I probably should do that. We do occasionally have water alerts where the water goes out for a while, and then we have to boil our water, and then I have to go out and get water to actually drink and cook with. So I probably should keep at least a couple gallons on hand for that, but I haven't been. So I'm gonna go. Hopefully this snowstorm and the ice especially isn't gonna be too bad for us here in Kentucky. It looks like it's all concentrated in Kentucky, maybe part of Ohio, Indiana. I'm not really sure how far out the weather Missouri, because my son has to drive through Missouri to get back home, and we are looking at the weather warning map, and it looks like he's going to hit part of the bad weather. Hopefully not too much. I thought he was going to leave last night because he likes driving overnight, but he didn't quite make it. He just left not too long ago. So, okay, I'm going to get this out. Hopefully, yeah, hope you all stay safe if you're in the region with the big snow and ice storm. Stay warm and be safe.